Begin the Super Supper, the 42nd David E. Grange Jr. Best Ranger Competition Super Supper. This is the unofficial award ceremony for the competitors. The Airborne Ranger Training Brigade will announce competitors from first place to 16th place. Additionally, they will award all the different amazing trophies we have for individual events, such as Best and Fastest Foot March, Most Distance Travel Land Navigation, and Best Marksmanship Unit. Additionally, all 16 teams will go from 16th place to first place. Their respective sponsored items that the National Ranger Association was able to work with in connection with all of our great sponsors representing this year's Best Ranger competition. This is one of the most we've ever had in sponsored history. It could have been any better because these Best Ranger competitors, these 16 teams, absolutely nailed it out of the park. Here we go. Airborne once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin momentarily.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin momentarily. The Super Supper unofficial award ceremony for Best Ranger competition. Enjoy the show.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're just waiting for the start of the Super Supper ceremony.
Gentlemen,
Here
as
we
we are
go.
waiting to have the teams prepare to enter the ball room here. As I call the team names out, if the team table, if you could please stand up, show your competitors where you're at. They have no idea what table's which. So they've had a long enough weekend. The last thing they need to do is hunt down the table that they're at. That is the last mystery event. So, I've been given a 5-minute wait. We have refreshments in the back. And we will join you again in approximately 5 minutes. Thank you for your patience.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to do another 5-minute wait. If you have any questions in the meantime, I can answer them for you. Otherwise, please like, subscribe. Save this on your schedule for next year for the 43rd annual Lieutenant General Retired David E. Green Jr. Best Ranger competition. This is the Super Supper. This is the event that occurs at the end of the grueling 3-day Best Ranger competition. In this event, this is an unofficial award ceremony where every competitor places from 16th to first place. They will award each competitor with different sponsor items of the National Ranger Association with a partnership. Additionally, they will award the teams of the foot march, the orienteering event, or nightline navigation, and military marksmanship.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have now been given the signal that we are to begin momentarily. So go ahead, finish filling your water glasses, and we'll begin shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to begin introducing their teams. We'll begin with Team 13 representing the 10th Mountain Division, Captain Barnum and First Lieutenant Ford. The next team, Team 14 representing the 10th Mountain Division, Sergeant Jones and Sergeant Zaya. Our next team is Team 16, representing the 11th Airborne Division. First Lieutenant now named Sergeant Wagner. The next team is Team 22, representing the 82nd Airborne Division. First Lieutenant Mohawk and First Lieutenant Ford. Our next team team is Team 26, representing the 101st Airborne Division. Our next team is Team 27, representing the 101st Airborne Division. Our next team is Team 30, representing 5th Corps, First Lieutenant Nyland and First Lieutenant Raymond. Our next team is Team 36, representing the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, Captain Rob and Captain Howard. Next is Team 43, representing the Maneuver Center of Excellence. Captain Logan and Captain Jackson. Our next team is Team 46, representing the Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade. Our next team is Team 47, representing the Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade. Next is Team 49, representing the 75th Ranger Regiment, Sergeant Shorts and Specialist Bravo. Next is Team 50, representing the 75th Ranger Regiment, Captain Peters and Sergeant Smith. Next is Team 51, representing the 75th Ranger Regiment, Captain Tyler and Specialist Martinez. And now Team 55, representing the United States Army, Special Operations Command, Major Bishop and Captain Hoffman. And the team that introduced is Team 59, representing the United States Military Academy. As we get settled, we have a short video presentation for you to enjoy. Round of applause. I made it look so easy. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Bill Price, the Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade Chaplain.
Let's pray. Almighty God, tonight we gather to honor the strength, sacrifice, and spirit of the finest warriors among us, the Rangers. Thank you for the courage and commitment of these men, for their families who stand behind them, and for the legacy they uphold as we break bread together. May we be reminded of the brotherhood that binds us, the freedom we defend, and the values we cherish. Bless this food, those who prepared it, and those who cannot be with us tonight, especially those still in harm's way. Grant us humility and victory, resilience and challenge, and always a heart of service. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Price. Ladies and gentlemen, our finishing teams will receive their dinner first, and then we will release all friends, family, and guests table by table. So competitors, please go ahead and move to the buffet line.
Okay, everybody at home. Right now, they're letting all the competitors get in the food line right now. Quick, they're the first ones in line, and then folks will get out there and start getting food, and then they'll get on with the ceremony. So stay tuned. We're just getting started. Just trying to get these hungry rangers some food after 3 days. So just stay tuned. The unofficial ceremony will be in just a little bit. So got to get some food in these rangers first.
Murray was always playing. Well, that's a kid. I kind of accepted it. Sure.
That's also shake hands and get like 15.
Phil, you take a photo. Absolutely, you too. I think I am too far. Dude, it's getting 6 o'clock already.
Dad said,
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the National Ranger Association, welcome to the 42nd Annual Lieutenant General Retired David Grange Jr. Best Ranger Competition Super Supper, where we will present the tribute awards to the competing teams. Let's have another round of applause for our competitors. At this time, please join me in welcoming our special guests, Colonel Stuart Lindsay, James Sergeant Major Patrick Hartog, Major General Retired David Grange, Colonel Retired Hazen Barrett, and a special welcome to Miss Jeannie Puckett. Please also join us in thanking Jeremy Swafford and his team for catering tonight's event. It is an honor to host this evening for our competitors, families, and friends. At this time, we would like to introduce Colonel Retired Hazen Barrett. I'd like to also express my heartfelt appreciation to the Airborne Ranger Training Brigade, and in particular to Trim and his crew for herding so many cats concurrently. This has been an extraordinary event. Ranger really is a brotherhood, and I've had the opportunity to rekindle relationships from 25 years ago. So thank you. And before I get too misty-eyed up here, thank you for that generous and mostly truthful introduction. Of all the introductions I've received, that one was the most recent. General and Mrs. Tooley, Sergeant Major Haight, General Grange, Mrs. Puckett, Colonel and Mrs. Lindsay, Command Sergeant Major Hartung, and you steely-eyed, barrel-chested, flat-bellied freedom fighters. When Colonel Lindsay invited me to speak at this wonderful event, two feelings really stood out in my mind. The first was humility, and the second was a bit of anxiety. Humbled because I believe, just as the old country songwriter Willie Nelson sings, "My roads have always been rangers." The anxiousness I experienced, I must admit, sprang from my own feelings of inadequacy. After all, what clever wisdoms does an old, retired Colonel Curmudgeon have to offer? And it turns out, not too many. So I do assure you, you are not going to hear about how tough Ranger School was during January of 1978. but rather some of my personal reflections from 2000 and 2002 while happily toiling at the RTB during the advent of GWAT. Suffice it to say that our end product, Rangers, were in high demand. So instead, I'm going to focus on a short trip down memory lane of mundane, yet seemingly noteworthy events. I'll try not to revise the history of the RTB 2000 to 2002. And first, I'd like to preface my remarks with a mutual verbal understanding that all of my comments are based on personal anecdotes during my command, which may or may not be accurately recollected from my alcohol-addled mind. Attribution is authorized. I assumed command of the RTB in July of 2000. During my in-processing with my Sergeant Major Kelso, I signed up for all the mandatory decrements for my LAS. Cup and Flower Fund, Coffee Fund, Departure Gift Fund, Savings Bonds, Officers Club. And then he told me about the National Infantry Association and the Infantry Museum Initiative. Now, by nature, I'm not a big joiner of things, especially when finances are concerned. But he asked me to meet with Candace Bryant, who was working for the NIA at the time. And later I did. And she was very impressive in her presentation and was successful in separating me from my membership contribution to the National Infantry Museum. And I'm glad I did. What a beautiful place. I've been away for 24 years, so seeing her right now really gives me pause. One of the few things I've probably contributed to that make me proud. Part of my in-processing included an in-brief and receipt of initial guidance from the Chief of Infantry, which included the surprising revelation that my predecessor had been, quote, just about ready to initiate the cessation of tobacco for students in Ranger School. So this came as a surprise to me. And at the time, there was an anti-tobacco, anti-alcohol movement in the Army. And, you know, all the high rollers jumped on that like a hobo on a ham sandwich. And as one who began a lifetime consumption of nicotine at Ranger School, I was a bit surprised that my predecessor had never mentioned this to me during our numerous pre-command discussions. Of course, having known my predecessor for several years, I knew that if he thought it was a good idea, he would have wanted credit for it and instituted it. So they caught me in the scene there of having to institute it. At any rate, this good idea was not going to go away. I slow rolled it for as long as possible, eventually informing the change to the Army writ large, and then I instituted it. Several months later, during my counseling session, my next counseling session with the Chief of Infantry, I was encouraged to stop tobacco usage by Ranger instructors. I completely ignored that suggestion for the duration of my command. You know, as you may imagine, during those 2 years, I received numerous unsolicited suggestions on how to improve Ranger training. You know, bring back the desert phase, institute live fires, let's use miles, go back to 1 CRAT a day, and other stuff. These suggestions serve to reinforce my personal belief that nothing is too difficult for the man who doesn't have to do it. And I guess I was just basically lazy, because I didn't heed any of those things. One of my responsibilities as the RTB commander was to appear on main post with my colors with the other brigade commanders at monthly circles of honor, other ceremonies. And you know, back then I felt as if the RTB colors, which was just a Ranger tab over a Follow Me patch on a white background, all white flag background. And I didn't think it adequately reflected the lineage of the organization. Several discussions with the Institute of Heraldry proved fruitless, and I expressed my frustration to Sergeant Major Kelso, and he designed a more appropriate set of colors using our beret flash on a blue background, kind of like regimental colors. He had two of the brigade and two sets of battalion colors made in Korea. And at the next Circle of Honor, I was nervous because we used them. And guess what? Nobody even noticed, which was great. I used them for the remainder of my command, passed them to my successor. Sometime during his tenure, someone did notice, and the RTB reverted back to the assigned colors that were in the Institute of Heraldry. Conduct in the Army Best Ranger competition is a very heavy lift for a brigade, especially with a TDA man structure. This doesn't include the devious events that have to be conducted by the competitors. The Infantry Center at the time was actively trying to take over overall planning. The RTB had been successfully running it since inception, and we felt a loss of autonomy and the gain of a higher headquarters with tasking authority would be counterproductive. The 2001 Best Ranger competition, my first, the AAR revealed several shortcomings, but we were not inclined to relinquish control. What we needed was a more robust year-round planning effort. Our TDA didn't support it, and we needed an enthusiastic, articulate, mentally and physically astute individual who understood the Ranger mission and culture. I remembered the briefing that I got from Candace Bryant and her ability to extort personal funding from me for the NIA. We offered her the position as a side gig for some chunk change. I mean, I don't even remember what. Candace, are you in the audience? What are we paying you that first year? 0. So the price is right. So it was chunk change. Anyway, and needless to say, with her dedication and her efforts, my last Best Ranger competition in 2002 was way better than the first. And I've just witnessed a Best Ranger competition that literally makes me swoon. It was absolutely incredible. Another issue that happened during that time period was the Chief of Staff of the Army, General Shinseki, made a surprise announcement that the Army was going to go to the Black Beret, and then effectively the Rangers would get the Tan Beret. The RTB was affected in a couple of ways. First of all, the Army wanted to adopt the Ranger flash instead of the light blue starred flash that they came up with. Sergeant Major Kelso attended a meeting with the Sergeant Major of the Army where the initial decision was to give the big Army the RTB flash. Sergeant Major Kelso, for those of you who know him, he did not agree, and that decision was then changed, and the Sergeant Major of the Army acquiesced and let the RTB keep its flash. Secondly, and it was more locally problematic, and that was that the Chief of Infantry at the time also, and note that we had kind of a friction sort of relationship. He did not support the RTB wearing the Tan Beret because of some, what I would say, poorly constructed logic that the RTB trained Rangers for the Army, so they should wear the Army headgear, i.e. the black beret with with no flash, or the flash of the Army. Fortunately, we discovered that it was actually the Sec Army who had approval authority for distinctive unit headgear. We called the XO of the Sec Army, and we discussed with him, of course, this subset of the whole beret issue is way below his noise level. But once we explained our logic to him, and he was a Ranger, he agreed with us, and he agreed with our theses. And about 14 days later, the RTB was directed to don the tan beret along with regiment and maintain our RTB flash. Another significant event was Sergeant Major Kelso approached me to commission an RTB print to raise funds for the Best Ranger competition. The renowned artist, James Dietz, required a $25,000 upfront deposit before he would even consider putting pencil to paper on a concept. Kelso coordinated the historic theme of early American Rangers, and for this $25K, we would get 1,000 prints, the original painting, which is in the RTB headquarters, finish them up, and we would sell those prints for $100 a piece. And I never do public math, but it sounded like a pretty good idea in terms of fundraising and what could possibly go wrong. Well, nothing did. And we sponsored the painting unveiling at a cocktail reception with James Dietz and General Grange personally autographing prints for a very long line of Rangers who had pre-ordered them. Some of the motion picture of Soldiers Once was filmed at Fort Benning. It starred Mel Gibson, Sam Elliott, Kerry Russell. You may have seen it. It's about the Hai Valley in Vietnam. And the RTB sponsored a week-long Ranger orientation to many of the main cast members, and also, some of the riffraff to show them, how to serve as a soldier in the woods. The filming was done at Camp Rogers and not at Camp Darby. It was a very cordial experience. But I will tell you that I was kind of underwhelmed with Mel Gibson the first time I met him. He was very personable, but he was kind of pot-bellied, and it changed smoke. The interesting thing is, 6 weeks later, when he showed up for filming, he was like in great shape and just like chiseled. So I don't know if those people in Hollywood, had whatever shots they're giving nowadays to people, and they were just way ahead of the power curve, or experimental or something. But he looked really good. My driver was a 20-year-old Ranger who was infatuated with Kerry Russell. Re-enlistment was a big deal back then, and Ranger Nakai committed to re-upping if he could be photographed with Kerry Russell. So under false pretenses, we drove on the main post, went to the post chapel, and while they were filming the wedding scene, and the producer brought her out, and Ranger Nakai got a photo of him and Kerry Russell standing in front of the chapel, wearing a wedding gown, and him and his BDUs posing together. He didn't re-up. In my mind, there's no greater responsibility for our Army than credentialing Rangers. 11 times a year, the Ranger Corps produces the best trained light infantry soldiers in the world. Just being physically tough does not do it. A Ranger must be mentally tough. Physical demands, unrelenting pressure, psychological stress, minimal food and rest will either break a Ranger student, give them heart disease, and make them quit, or forge a significantly more confident and capable combat leader. Rangers have lived with high standards of selfless service, integrity, and hard work without waiver since their inception. They are Americans who do not tolerate self-serving individuals, and they treasure America's freedom beyond their own lives. I know everything that I've said this evening is likely redundant, and I hope a little bit of it was interesting, but my heroes have always been Rangers, and they still are, it seems. So thank you for this great event, for your indulgence with me, and for what you do for our Army and our nation. Rangers lead the way. Let's have another round of applause for Colonel Barron. Ladies and gentlemen, before we recognize our competitor teams, we would like to thank our supporters. One highly integrated and valued service that has impacted all spectator experience for the past 4 years is Black-owned. They work nonstop throughout the competition and therefore are unable to receive appropriate recognition at our donor social. Their competitor tracker systems enable you to follow your Ranger in real time. Join us in honoring Black-owned. We also want to recognize our supporters who provided products during the layout to all competitors. Benchmade 141 knife, BRC t-shirt, Terra Armor t-shirt, X-Ray custom BRC t-shirt, Right in the Rain kit, Omni wool socks, Rough socks, Rocky boot socks, Salty Britches salad, Catadine, give it up. Catadine liter water filter bottle, Phantom Light strobe. Additionally, each team received a gift bag containing the following items: Black Rifle coffee mug and bag, Best Ranger team coin, Drip Drop, Pedialyte, and Hoist hydration products, Magpul P-Mags, AP's competitor bag, Commando's competitor bag. Round of applause for our supporters. At this time, we will recognize Best Ranger Competition Legacy Awards, the Captain Ripto Bronze Boot Award, the Moore Van Als Marksmanship Award, and the Dick Leandry Award. The Captain Russell Ripto Bronze Boot is awarded to the team that has the overall fastest foot march time. The Captain Ripto Bronze Boot is named in honor of Captain Russell Ripto, who was assigned to Alpha Company 375th Ranger Regiment, who was killed in 2003 by a car bomb while the ground war was still raging in Iraq. The award is being presented by Jason Witten from Heckler & Koch. This year's winner is Team 51, representing the 75th Ranger Regiment. Winning this award, Captain Joe Trinot and Specialist Diego Martinez will have their names engraved on the trophy and receive a custom H&K 45 pistol. Let's give them another round of applause. We also want to thank Jason Witten. Let's have a round of applause for H&K. The Moore Van Als Marksmanship Award is awarded to the team that has the highest overall score in all marksmanship events. The Moore Van Als Marksmanship Award is named after Master Sergeant Jared Van Als and First Sergeant Harvey Moore. First Sergeant Harvey Moore is a Ranger Hall of Fame member who served in the 4th Ranger Training Battalion and 1st Battalion 75th Ranger Regiment, and was the Best Ranger winner in 1985. First Sergeant Moore died in a training exercise helicopter crash in 1992. Master Sergeant Jared Van Alst was known as a premier marksman, as a sniper platoon sergeant in 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, an instructor at the U.S. Army Marksmanship Unit, and a Special Operations team member assigned to the U.S. Special Operations Command. He made the ultimate sacrifice on August 4th, 2010 in Kunduz, Afghanistan. The Moore Van Alst Marksmanship Award is presented by Alan Vessel from Allen's Armory and Colonel Casey Mills. This year's winner is Team 50, representing the 75th Ranger Regiment. For winning this award, Sergeant Isaac Smith and Captain Lane Peters will have their names engraved on the trophy. Additionally, they will each receive a custom AR-15 built by Allen's Armory. Another round of applause for Allen's Armory and the support of Colonel Casey Mills. The Dick Leandri Award is awarded to the team with the best overall score in the orienteering event. Dick Leandri is one of the original supporters of the Best Ranger competition and founder of the Chairborne Rangers. The award is presented by Ellie Scarfone, niece of the late Dick Leandri, and Jeff Griffith, representing the Chairborne Rangers. Let's give them a round of applause. As they are walking up to present the award, it's good to note that Jeff is wearing his original Chairborne Rangers jacket, and Ellie in her Ranger Legacy Foundation camo jacket, showing a presentation of the past and present. Let's give a round of applause for the support of the Chairborne Rangers and the Ranger Legacy Foundation. This year, we had a tie. Our winners are, it's my job to have the suspense. Team 16. Team 46. Both teams, Sergeant Malik Ramanek and First Lieutenant William Nauman, and Staff Sergeant John Gladwell and Captain Jackson Gordon will have their names engraved on the trophy and receive a Sanchin Kinetic TI watch. Competitors, if you could remain at the trophy, please. Additionally, both teams will receive a custom Best Ranger Soldado 6mm arc rifle built by Beal Rifle Company and presented by Mr. Kevin Beal. Let's have another round of applause for Mr. Kelly Beal and Beal Rifle Company. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask you for another round of applause for all of these outstanding Rangers and their Legacy Award winning. At this time, we will recognize each team individually for their overall placement in the competition. Please hold your applause until all prizes for each team have been presented. Teams, when your names are called, please join us on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, for the team in 16th place, they will each receive commemorative plaques from the National Ranger Association, koozies from Allen's Armory, Daniel Defense, and Beal Rifle Company, patch and stickers from Vortex, a P-Mag from Magpul, custom pens from Junior Bullet Pens, monsoon tactical set from Right in the Rain, a t-shirt and hat from the National Ranger Association, a wound dressing kit from Carry Curve, hats from Echelon, OTB boots, and Vortex, an Aura 4 ring from Command Sergeant Major retired Celestine and the team at Aura. Additionally, the TNRA is proud to announce a historic first. Every finisher in the Best Ranger competition will receive a 6-Sauer pistol. This award honors their competitive spirit and their role in carrying forward the Ranger legacy. Sauer has been a steadfast supporter of the Ranger community and the Best Ranger competition for the past 6 years. Their contribution in recognition of the 75th anniversary of the Ranger School, the commitment and sacrifice demonstrated by all finishing teams, and the support of their families. Let's give another round of applause to 6 Sauer. In 16th place, Team 59, representing the U.S. Military Academy. For the teams in 13th through 15th place, for their performance, they will each receive a lockbox from Hornady and all previously mentioned prizes. In 15th place, Team 14, representing the 10th Mountain Division. And that prize is donated by Allen's Armory. In 14th place, Team 13, representing the 10th Mountain Division. Captain Jacob Lemon. Another round of applause. In 13th place, Team 22, representing the 82nd Airborne Division. For the team in 12th place, for their performance, they will each receive a patch from Daniel Defense and all previously mentioned prizes. In 12th place, Team 27, representing the 101st Airborne Division. For the team in 11th place, for their performance, they will each receive a hatchet from Form Energy and all previously mentioned prizes. In 11th place, Team 47, representing the Airborne Rangers Division. For the teams in 9th and 10th place, for their performance, they will each receive a bottle opener and sunglasses from Vortex, and all previously mentioned prizes. In 10th place, Team 30, representing the 5th Corps, First Lieutenant Mark and First Lieutenant Jessica. In 9th place, Team 26, representing the 101st Airborne Division. Sergeant Billy Franklin and CW2 Colin Field. For the teams in 7th and 8th place, for their performance, they will each receive a framed "This Man is a Ranger" print from the National Ranger Association and all previously mentioned prizes. In 8th place, Team 43, representing the Maneuver Center of Excellence, representing South Johnson. Thank you, gentlemen. In 7th place, Team 55, representing the United States Army Special Operations Command, Major Virginia Bishop. For the team in 6th place, for their performance, they will each receive a pistol case from Magpul, a Glock 19 XV from Glock, and all previously mentioned prizes. In 6th place, Team 46, representing the Airborne Rangers Division. For the team in 5th place for their performance, they will each receive a Field Shield dressing t-shirt from Caricure, a Glock TAC Pro flashlight and water bottle from Glock, and all previously mentioned prizes. In 5th place is Team 16, representing the Olympic division. Thank you, gentlemen. For the team who placed in 4th place for their performance, they will each receive double waterproof pistol bag from Magpul and a hat, beanie, and waterproof gear bag from Glock, and all previously mentioned prizes. In 4th place, Team 36, representing the Old Guard, Captain Zero Glock and Captain Zero Hopper. Thank you, gentlemen. For the team who placed in 3rd place, for their performance, they will each receive a scarf from Combat Flip Flops, hat from Joan Brown, a Wash Tactics 8 from Garmin, a hat from ATS, a certificate from Beyond Clothing, a multi-tool from Leatherman, case of drink sticks from Drip Trot, metal thermos koozie from Glock, Bottle Explorer Pro from Catadyne, a hat from T1G, a 65-inch TV from Samsung, gift basket from Heart and Home Mercantile, whiskey from Warrior Spirits, a Colt Import carbine from Colt, as well as a commemorative Colonel Ralph Puckett coin on behalf of Miss Jeannie Puckett, and all previously mentioned prizes. That's it. In 3rd place, Team 50, representing the 75th Ranger Regiment. And the TVs are from Hyrocom Systems. And now, for the team who placed in 2nd place for their performance, they will each receive Crossfire Red Dot and Diamondback rangefinders from Vortex Optics, GTL Light and Flag from Glock, whiskey from Rangers Creed, a bag from G-Code, 6-pack socks from Ruck Socks, Be Free Filter from Catadyne, frame standing orders from Crossed Arrows, a rifle from Daniel Defense, pistol with optics from Staccato, and all previously mentioned prizes. Yes. In 2nd place, Team 51 representing the 75th Ranger Regiment. Additionally, Team 51 will receive the Master Sergeant Robert Bob Horrigan Award on behalf of Mark Sheehan. The Master Sergeant Robert Horrigan Award is given to the 2nd place finishers. This award was created by Rangers to continue the legacy of a great warrior with deep ties to our Ranger community. Master Sergeant Bob Horrigan was born on January 13, 1965 in Limestone, Maine. He enlisted in the Army as an infantryman in May of 1984 and served with various units to include the 75th Ranger Regiment, 5th Ranger Training Battalion, 1st Battalion, 7th Special Forces Group, and the Joint Special Operations Command. He competed in the 1987 Best Ranger competition at Fort Benning, Georgia, where he placed 2nd. He made the ultimate sacrifice defending our freedom on June 17, 2005 in Western Iraq while conducting combat operations against known enemies of the United States. Let's have a round of applause for the legacy of Master Sergeant Robert. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the Best Ranger competition will receive, strap it, Tactical Folder SW Plane from H&K, a Tomahawk from Saitos Tactical, Randall Knife from USAA, Safe Drop Box from SnapSafe, Rifle Scope from Trijicon, Rangefinder and Defender XL from Vortex, Rifle from KUSA, Framed Ranger Creed from Crossed Arrows, Box of Drink Sticks from Hoist, Zip Up Jacket from Glock, Custom Display Case from Form Energy, Optifuel Heater from Polaris, the Tomahawk from Viper, Soft Cooler and Bag from Glock, M4 Shotgun from Benelli, Rifle with Optics from H&K, Rifle with Bipod from Steyr, M4 Rifle Case from Magpul, a rifle from Daniel Defense. As well, Words of Warriors by Colonel Ralph Puckett on behalf of Miss Jeannie Puckett. Also, built by hand and guaranteed for life, Aries Watch Company, 80 miles from the compound at 2nd Ranger Battalion. Custom mission timers were commissioned for today's winners by Black Rifle Coffee Company and feature dials personalized to each winner, reflecting their individual regimental legacy and heritage. To be officially awarded tomorrow, not yet released, custom engraved Staccato P4X, serial numbers 01 and 02, customized to represent the 75 years of Rangers School Excellence and all previous mentioned presents. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the 2026 Best Ranger Competition, Team 49, representing the 75th Let's have a round of applause for our reference Staccato. Let's do a big standing ovation for all of these Ranger competitors. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's awards ceremony will begin at 10 o'clock in the Marshall Auditorium and beginning with a tall on main post. All competitors, you must be present for the rehearsals. It will begin at 08 for the winning team. Please be at the Ranger Memorial at 07:30 for the winner's photo. Don't shoot the messenger, gentlemen. You will be escorted by Sergeant First Class Torres. The guest speaker for this event will be Medal of Honor recipient, Sergeant Major Thomas Payne. Once I am complete, Ms. Scarfone and General Grange would really like to have a picture with all the competitors up front. Thank you for your attendance and support of the 42nd Annual David E. Grange Junior Best Ranger Competition. Rangers lead the way.
All right, everyone, that concludes another great event tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for that. We will not have it live stream, but the MCOE will be up on that and have that covered tomorrow morning. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you liked it. We tried to cover as much as we could, get better with each pass. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see everyone tomorrow morning.